Alright. Come on, Twitch. At least you're working. I like this game. Alright. Audio's working. Yep. Everything is working as it should be. Great. Sit here and wait. Oh, this is going to be a proper headache tonight. Oh. This is going to be a proper headache. Oh, I'll push through it. Oh, for now, folks, we're just chilling out, waiting for everyone to join. How's my day been? Not bad. Bit long. Bit hot. It's getting hot over here in New South Wales, so it's a little bit unbearable. But all in all, it's been an okay day. Basically, a day where I've been waiting for this. So, and boy, won't we have some things to talk about. I imagine, Blake, up in Queensland, up in the tropics, wouldn't be fun. Oh, Big Al got into his car. That's what happened. Right. So, we're missing how many? 4? 4 more. What you can... Oh. You can select delivery design. Oh. It's a bit weird because it doesn't come up with spectating. So, I need to make sure I've got that green eye up. Yeah, he did. It's a shame. But, for him, he had commitments with another league, so backed out of this. It's a shame because his fight towards the front with the likes of Crichton, of Al, Potsy, I believe so, yeah. I think it was WOR. Yeah, a shame, because he's properly quick. Properly quick. But we still have him around for Sunday. Good to see. It's kind of the reason why I picked up commentary. I want to feel useful. But yeah, when you go up against guys like these, you just sit there and wonder, how the hell can anyone go that fast? You just sit there and wonder. You can watch their laps too, you can watch it over and over, you can try and mimic what they do, but you can't get anywhere near their times. Just sit there and just be like, man. It can be a bit draining. Like for me, I've done it for a while, and I've enjoyed doing it. I enjoy telling the story of these races, especially races of this caliber, where you got a lot of really quick drivers in them, because you get to see some pretty wicked stuff. But when you keep doing it over and over again, it can get quite draining, particularly when you kind of know what's going to happen. On top of that, you got issues within the game that really just takes the wind out of your sails, so to speak. A bit like what we got going tonight. because as you may notice, everyone is in multiplayer cars because Codemasters have royally screwed up again. So everyone will be in their own design, so yeah, I know. And that really worries me because later in the year they're going to release a WRC game, and I'm a huge rally fan. I've been following rallying ever since I was a little kid, and this combination of Codemasters and the WRC license is something that I've long anticipated for. So I'm really hopeful that the upcoming WRC title releases well and it's fun to play. If it's not, I might just stop playing games made by Codemasters, because past few F1 games have been a long journey full of frustration. So alright, we shouldn't be too far away from starting, I imagine. We're a few minutes late. Yeah, hopefully that won't take too long. Yeah, well, I was league racing. Well, I started F1 league racing back in 2019, and I'd say that was quite a peak with 2019. Little did I realize, I started doing commentary then as well. Little did I realize that that would be a peak for me. 2020 and 2021, especially 2020, was quite good. The beginning of it wasn't. There was a glitch right at the beginning of the game that prevented people from racing on console. It would be a thing where the communicating with online services prompt comes up, and it literally covers the whole screen. And that would happen during the race, so you can't see where you're going. So for a whole month, we couldn't do any league racing. We had to wait for everything to be fixed. So that wasn't fun. But after that, especially with the help of COVID-19, yeah, we hit quite a boom with 2020 and 2021. Then, yeah, we hit a big old concrete wall with F1 22, and we're still going through the concrete wall, it seems, with F1 23. Anyway, when that timer hits 0, I'll start up my intro as per normal, and we'll get this race underway. Hello everyone, and welcome to round 5 of the Pacific Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and for tonight we'll be competing at the Marina Bay Street Circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix. Constructed in 2008 and designed by track-making Supremo Herman Tilke, Singapore is most famous for hosting the first ever night race in Formula 1 history. But if you take the unique atmospheric conditions aside, you have a technical street course that has been the home of drama and controversy for many, many years. The circuit itself has remained relatively unchanged from its original design. The Singapore Sling at turn 10 has been the only part of the circuit that has been massively changed, and that was done all the way back in 2013. 10 years later, though, in preparation for the 2023 season, the circuit would undergo its biggest change yet. Thankfully, the developers at Codemasters were able to create a rendition of the new circuit and add it through one of the updates that didn't break the game. The circuit was shortened now to 4.94 kilometers, and it features 19 corners, 4 less than the previous design. This is because the bus stop section after turn 15 has been completely bypassed, as you can see on that little track map there in the bottom right. It creates a flat out section from the exit of turn 14 to the chicane of turn 16 and 17, and as it was proven in the Elite Series, it adds a new overtaking spot on the racetrack. The circuit also retains the 3 DRS zones it originally had that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turn 1, Turn 7 and Turn 14. Lap times are set to tumble here at Singapore, but don't be fooled. Less corners doesn't mean less danger. Marina Bay is a concrete jungle where a single mistake, big or small, can have massive consequences. Before we focus on qualifying, there is a little bit of news to go through first. From the previous race at Spa, only a single incident report submitted in, and that was between Bate and RBR. It was an incident during the main race itself that we caught, kind of, where RBR hit Bate in the rear of his car and sent him into a wall, and from that he was given a 15-second time penalty and 3 penalty points for that incident. RBR actually DNF'd from that race, so the penalty points is the only thing that affects him. It means as well that the final results from both races remain completely unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, it's GeForce Crichton leading the way on 96 points, followed by Potsy on 77, and Big Al rounds out the top 3 on 72. Mercedes AMG lead the Teams Championship on 130 points, followed by Haas on 105, then AlphaTauri on 90, McLaren on 89, Aston Martin round out the top 5 on 69 points. Blake Stevenson is about to start the first flying lap of the session. We'll ride on board, give you a tour of this 4.9 kilometre racetrack. Down into turn 1, braking just before the 50 board, 4th gear, through turn 2, then into the left of turn 3, 3rd gear. Gets back on the power, a bit of understeer, but he keeps the car within the white lines as he exits turn 4. Into the right of turn 5, 4th gear, gets back on the power as he opens DRS and heads up towards turn 6. It's completely flat out through this right-hander as we head up towards turn 7, the best overtaking spot on the circuit. 3rd gear on the exit here, up towards turn 8, braking at the 50 again, dropping it down to 2nd gear, short shifts up to 3rd. 4th gear into turn 9, hits the apex, gets back on the power, very tidy there through the left-hander, up towards the Singapore swing, turn 10. Braking at the 50 board, brings it down to 4th gear, gets back on the power. 3rd gear through turn 11, then 12, over the Anderson Bridge and into the hairpin of turn 13. You'll open DRS and head up towards turn 14. Big braking zone here, just after the 100, brings it down to 2nd gear, clips the apex and short shifts up to 3rd. Round turn 15, that's a flat out drive up towards this chicane. Turn 16 and 17, that car gets well out of the way, good job there. Down to 3rd gear. 4th gear, out of turn 17, 2 corners left on the lap. Turn 18, and then turn 19 to complete the lap of Singapore. It's going to be a 1 minute 29.0896. That was an Alfa Romeo getting out of the way as Philly jumps up to P2 with a 29.3. Based off the times that I saw in the Elite Series, we're going to see a lot of 28s. Pole time, I believe, would be around a 1 minute 27. A low, oh no, not a low, a mid to high 27. Cohen goes second quickest with a 29.0. Bay May jumps to the top, 28.6. Who else we got? Seb moves back into pit lane. Oh, someone's jumped up. I believe that was Sneaky. Rockford's jumped to the top, 28.3. Danielku making his way through the chicane complex into the hairpin at turn 13. Sporting a livery quite similar, actually, to the Lotus back in the 2010s. Look at that. Actually looks quite nice, that thing does. Some drivers getting their creative sides out. Ryan Bell, bit of a moment. He's on the intermediate tyres as he goes back into pit lane. Sporting a German flag car, he is. Sebastian Spicer through turn 11, then turn 12, over the bridge and into turn 13. Go off the racetrack. A Mercedes looking car at that, so that might be GeForce Crichton. Speaking of which, he's at the top of the board with a 27.8. Around the turn 14 corner, driver getting out of the way. Spicer's only got a few corners left on his first flying lap attempt. Brings it down to 3rd gear, gets back on the power. Nice and tidy as he heads towards the final two corners, 18 and 19, that complete this flying lap. He'll set a 28.9, 7th quickest for him. Where is Crichton? He's sporting a pink car. So, but identical to Sebastian's, as a matter of fact. So that Mercedes-looking car, that was not Crichton. He's in a different coloured mobile. Rockford sporting a Alpine-style livery, as he is an Alpine driver. Bags Liddell, have a look at this. That's a pretty neat-looking Aston Martin-style livery. Wall of Champions. Yes. Oh, that's excellent. That's an excellent sticker to have. And look at that. That is quite a nice looking Lotus style design. Well done. It's Matt Plevs in the Mercedes mobile, I suppose. He's got intermediate tyres on. You see this from a lot of the top drivers running around on inters, trying to set their first laps, trying to save a set of tyres if they can for later in the session. Ryan Bell out on track. He's now on soft compound tyres. Seb here doing the same. Sporting a German flag livery, but in black rather than the white of Bell. Jinbin out on track in the Williams car. The 800th race livery. Sported at Silverstone. Spins out at turn 3. Gets back on the gas. Gets pointed back in the right direction. Dearie me, that could have been a lot worse. That goes back into pit lane. Seb here beginning a lap. Out of turn 3. Around this little left-hand kink of turn 4. Up towards 5. From 6th gear. Drop it down to 4th. Back on the power. Oh, brushes the barrier at the exit of turn 5. Pushing the very limits of the track there. Round turn 7, 3rd gear. Using just enough curb and then some at the exit of 7. Round turn 8. Sector 1 yellow. Slow moving car. Not quite sure who that could be. Probably Baitmate, I'd assume. The yellow car in front of him, I believe, is Reese Cohen. Big Al is leaving the pit lane as I speak. Round the hairpin. Turn 13. Yeah, not a bad first lap from you to crack into the 27 straight away. Everyone else is hovering at mid to low 28s for the moment. Of course, conditions are set to improve over the course of qualifying, but yeah, 27.8. That is a mega start to the session. But of course, the likes of Bell, Al, they have not set lap times. I'll be curious to see here what Seb can do as he heads around the final two corners. Back onto the main straightaway. He jumps up to P2. 1 minute 28.149. Big Al out on track. Ryan Bell through the Singapore sling at 10. Through the chicane, 11. Then the left of 12. That was big understeer through 11. Front end did not want to cooperate at all there. 3rd gear, 4th, 5th. Up into 6th. Then 7th. Into turn 14, drops it down to 4th gear, down to 3rd. Back on the power, very tidy through that right-hander. Through 15. Up towards 16 and 17. Drops it down to 4th gear. Clips the first curb, clips the second. Uses all of the racetrack at the exit there as he heads around the final two turns. Up towards the line for Bell. He takes provisional pole. 1 minute 27.693. Big Al getting ready as well. I'll be very, very curious to see what he can do relative to the top 3. Granted as well, Rockford not terribly far behind. If he can find a few tenths, he'll be right in the fight. Onto the main straightaway he goes with just under 8 minutes left in qualifying. Begins a flying lap on the soft compound tyre. Through turn 1, then 2. Into the left of 3, down to 3rd gear, back on the power. Keeps it within the white lines. Very tidy run through the opening complex. Round turn 5. Onto the straightaway. That might be Spicer just in front. In that pink coloured car. Tidy run through turn 7 there from Al. Now into 8. Down to 3rd gear. Back on the power. Very tidy indeed. Getting close to the barrier on the outside of 9. Using the full width of the circuit. You have to at this level. Can't be too afraid of those barriers. Drops it down to 3rd gear. That's Jinbin getting out of the way. The RS open. Up through the gears. Towards turn 14. 7th gear. Entry speed of 283 kilometers an hour. As we head up towards turn 15. Then the chicane. 16 and 17. Braking hard from 294 to an apex speed of 117. 2 corners left now for Al. Can he jump up onto the front row? Let's see. The answer is no. And he's not in the top 3. He's not in the top 5. He is P6 for the moment with a 28.3. Minecraft Cave Sound 21 is Potsy, by the way. He is in the Audi. Can't wait to be saying that in a few years' time. The Audi Sauber Formula 1 car. The concept livery design that they revealed last year. Philly has retired. He's done that at turn 3 from the looks of things. See if we can't find a way to see what's happened here. Nope, he's just despawned. See, that's the thing. I can look to the mini-map normally and try and work out what car's arriving at the scene, but everyone's in different cars. Everyone's got different colours, so it's almost impossible to try and work out who's at what part of the racetrack. And we got a fair few in black. That makes things all the more difficult. SV jumps up to 5th position, 28.3, so 3 drivers in the 28.3s. Wonder if any more will join them. Jinbin in the Williams, making his way towards turn 14. One of 2 drivers yet to set a lap time. Matt Plevy is the other. 4 corners left for Jinbin. They're tricky corners as well. Very easy to invalidate. Sporting a Carlos Sainz helmet, I see. The one he used at the Italian Grand Prix. 2 corners left. 6th gear through the penultimate turn. Flat out round the final corner. And he sets the 8th fastest time at 28.4. Just missing out on the 3s. He's making his way back towards the pits. Spicer crosses the line and jumps to 3rd. 28.084 is his lap time. So Nick, he'll be making his way back into the pits. Daniel's making his way in as well. So everyone's on an in lap at this point. Just waiting for everyone to make their way back in, and then we can concentrate at the top end of town at the end of this session to see who will take pole position at Singapore. Car in front has just run out of fuel. That might be Huey. As a matter of fact, it is. In he comes. Jinbin's running low as well. Tell you what, might be a tad bit tight for Sebastian here. He's got a fair chunk of the lap to get through to get to pit lane. It might be qualifying done. We'll wait and see. He is pushing though. I reckon he's pushing quite hard. Try and make it back. But at the moment, everyone's set times. Even Philly, who retired earlier in the session. Hello, ACW. But yeah, enjoy the multiplayer cars. We got no real cars because game broken. But one car out on track, and that is Luke Rockford sporting a very, very well recreated Alpine livery here. I do like this. Be something I reckon Alpine would try and make IRL. Look at it. I reckon that would work really, really well. No, he's no longer participating in the Tuesday tiers. He'll be doing stuff with WOR, fully committing to that on Tuesdays. Alright, got a lot of drivers making their way out of the pits. Got 2.5 minutes left in qualifying. So It's expected for everybody to just pour out of pit lane. Bell going very slowly. That's the white dot. Luckily, a few of these guys do have a bit of colour on the minimap. That way I can work out, like the green car that just passed them, that would be Bags Liddell. Spice is retired in the pit lane. So both pink cars, one of them Spicer, the other one's Crichton. The lighter pink car, or cars, Rockford and Stevenson. The yellow ones are, one of them's Big Al, and the other one's Reese Cohen. So it's nice, but a lot of them are black, and that doesn't help me. Rockford around the final two corners will begin his final flying lap attempt. He does have enough time left on the clock to have another go if he needs it, but preferably he would like to get it done right here, right now. Round turn 3. Tidy exit out of the left-hand hairpin. Up towards turn 5. Drops it down to 4th gear. Gets back on the power. Very, very tidy through that right-hander. Up towards turn 6. And then the first sector split. Clock says he's up by 1/10 of a second. Out of turn 7. Towards turn 8. Drops it down to 2nd gear. Short shifts up to 3rd. 4th gear. Keeps it in 4th, round 9. Heads towards the Singapore sling now. Bags Liddell starts his final flying lap attempt. I think Big Al is doing the same, and he's in P8. He's got a bit of work to do. Try and get towards the front. Rockford round turn 13. Seb gets a 5-place grid penalty for illegal blocking. You can look at the yellows through that sector. Everyone's balked up. See here. Look at them all. It's a car park through that final sector. Everyone's left at last second, and here comes Rockford. We're right on board. Towards the chicane. See what, he might be very, very lucky here. No, he's not! Daniel Koo did not get out of the way at all, and he spins to avoid contact. His session's done. What a tremendous shame. Crichton up by 41 thousandths in the first sector. Seb making his way out of turn 3. Very wide, but thankfully for him, he didn't invalidate. Potsy's up by 1/100th of a second to the first sector. Ryan Bell heads around the hairpin at turn 13. Slight overshoot there, I think. He locked the rears up, got the thing sideways at the apex. He heads up towards the middle sector split. He's up by almost 3/10 of a second. Crichton, he's heading up towards the middle sector split as well. He is down by 1/10 of a second, so the likelihood of him taking pole, well, it's now 0. He's thrown it into the wall out of frustration. Al jumps to P3 with a 27.8. He'd be happy. Starting towards the front of the field, Ryan Bell, though, will cross the line and set a 27.376. What a lap time. Seb, meanwhile, he's got a 5 grid place penalty for illegal blocking. He is up by 2/10 of a second. Potsy's retired as well. His session is over. Now, Seb, I think he is the only driver who has a grid penalty for what happened through that final sector, so they might enforce this. I don't think there'll be a reset for this, so he needs to jump up the order now, and he does. He jumps up 1 position, P4 for him. There we go. The end of qualifying. Some drama, some controversy right at the end of that. Ryan Bell, what a lap time. 27.376. Half a second between the top two. That's a mega effort from Bell. Championship leader Crichton will start alongside him on the front row. Big Al P3. Seb won't start 4th. He'll start down the order. Spicer P5. Potsy P6. SV in 7th. And we have Huey, Rockford, Jinbin rounds out the top 10. Reese Cohen, Sneaky, Stevenson, Baitmate, Danielku in trouble for sure post-race. Bags Liddell, Philly retired in qualifying. He starts 17th. Matt Plevy and G-Force Nick starting from the back. Alright, race time now here at Singapore. I assume it's clear. Hard to say. It is night time, so Now, strategies for this race. In the Elite Series, the majority of the drivers started on the hard compound tyre. However, the car that ultimately won, which was Ryan Bell, started on the mediums, and that was because of a well-timed safety car. So there's a benefit to starting on the softer compound straight away, especially if there is that early safety car. You can really play yourself into a really strong position. Of course, though, if it stays green all the way through, I'd imagine starting on the hard tyre probably would be the better way to go. So a bit of a risk versus reward game here at Singapore. But then again, it's like that at almost any racetrack we go to. No formation lap as well. At least I'm pretty certain there's no formation lap. So as soon as we cut to the grid, we'll get on the way. I think you get a bit of an idea of who's in what garage based off the front wings that are ready. That's nice to know. Alright, here we go, folks. We have 5 red lights, and we're underway here at Marina Bay. It's a nice start from Bell, it's a nice start from Al. As we head towards turn 1, Crichton has a nose up Bell's inside, but he can't make the move. Wasn't far enough alongside. He'll stay in second. Al still in third, followed by Spicer, then Potsy. The midfield's trying to sort themselves out. Look at them go as they head towards turn 5. Side-by-side action, trying to sort themselves out. As we head towards turn 6, everyone gets through turn 5 unscathed. That was a mega job from everyone there. What about turn 7, though? Oh, it's tight. It's all tight. They get through unscathed. Good stuff. Jinbin Rockford battling away. The rest of the midfield's trying to sort themselves out. Jinbin wide. Through goes Seb. Here comes Sneaky in the Verstappen mobile. Down the inside at the sling. Oh, and he makes it stick. A lot of respect being shown by Jinbin there to make sure that overtake didn't result in disaster. Unlike that spin. Sneaky in the wall, damaging his wing. He has to do an 11 million point turn to try and get himself in the right direction. He eventually does. He's now down in last place, well behind the pack. Up towards the chicane, turns 16 and 17. Potsy gets in front in the Audi mobile. Spicer drops to P5 in the pink mobile. But at the front, it's Ryan Bell who leads. Crichton second, followed by Big Al. Let's see, P4, then Spicer. So a bit of changing towards the back of the field. But here towards the front, very much the same. See all the drivers on the different tyre compounds. It's a proper mix-up. We have got the top 3 on mediums, SVYT, Huey, Jinbin and Philly doing the same. Sneaky is in the pits to get that front wing fixed. Round turn number 8. Yeah, it's going to be fairly calm now after that first lap. Everyone should have themselves nice and sorted. A lot of this race is going to be determined by strategy. We're not going to see a hell of a lot of passes. Further back, everyone in a nice train, evenly spread out, relatively evenly. This is sort of what I mean. No one is in any sort of position to try and attack. Except for perhaps Crichton, when DRS is enabled, he might be able to try and have a go at Ryan Bell. The Bell in the, I suppose, Team Germany mobile is doing quite well. A decent pace. But we know how overpowered DRS can be, and I imagine Crichton might have a proper go. Potsy's lost ground to the top 3. This is expected. He's on the hard tyre. He won't have the outright pace of the top 3. SV gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Crichton closes in. Not by enough to attack into turn 7 though. He stays behind. Oh, have to be careful with the curves sometimes. You can get real unsettled by them. Bell used all the curves and you saw his car just briefly kick out. Just a little bit. Not a huge amount, just a little bit. Through the sling. Up towards the chicane. Gap is 3.5 tenths. Crichton, he's just not close enough to do anything yet. Doesn't need to do anything though. It's only 3 laps into a 31 lap race. Got a long way to go. All of these guys can plan themselves out. Try and optimize pace as best they can. Ryan Bell pulling away just ever so slightly. 6 tenths now the gap between the top two. Oh, again with him just getting it out sideways. Philly down the inside. Danoku down to P14. Around the final 2 corners. Back onto the main straight. The 2012 Lotus driver not close enough to try and pass here. Back up towards the front, I suppose. No one else is close enough to try and battle just yet. Just going to be a patient wait for the action to come. Top 3 steadily pulling away. Potsy P4 losing time. You needn't worry, those tyres will come good in a few laps time. Start to close in bit by bit as we head up towards lap 10, 12 or so. Yeah, this is sort of what you expect out of Singapore, just long DRS trains. Unable to do much. Glance, a change of position, shall we? The driver who's made up the most out of anybody at the start is Philly, up 4 positions from 17th to 13th. So he's made his way inside of the points. Sneaky, obviously, has lost the most positions out of anybody after their incident at the Anderson Bridge. That inside curve at turn 12 is quite nasty. Right at the wrong way, the car gets picked up. You can easily lose control like Sneaky did. Poor fella, right at the back of the field. Needs a safety car to try and save their race. Yeah, long DRS trains. Although, SV was close. He had a sneaky little look down the inside there of Spicer. Couldn't quite make the move stick. Didn't have enough momentum to try and make it stick. Look at them all. Evenly spaced out. No one else really in any sort of position to attack. Oh dear. Here are your leaders again. Bell, Crichton and Al. 1.3 seconds from the nose to the tail of this group. And they've got 2.3 seconds over Potsy and P4. Towards the chicane. Or maybe a tad bit wide? No. Gains time, Ryan Bell. Looked wide from that angle, but no. Kept it very tidy through that chicane. See those tyre temperatures on Crichton's wheel. All of them over 100 degrees Celsius. So they're properly hot, as you'd expect. There's a lot of traction zones here at Singapore. Spend a lot of time on the brakes as well, so it's expected that the front and the rears cover beating around this circuit. Right up towards the wall. You saw that from Bell. Oh, he he almost got close to the wall on the exit too, using all of the racetrack, every bit of it. But Bell, he's managing the pressure very, very well. Keep his eyes forward. Mistakes to a minimum. Keeping just enough of a gap to Crichton. We needn't worry about him too much. Crichton, I don't think, will mind. It's the early stages of the race. You can see with the battery, he's got a fair chunk of it. Bell's got the same. In fact, it's Al who has the least out of the top three on 52%. Compare that to Potsy, 21%. That's what happens when you're leading a train. Just soak up all that battery. It completely disappears from... Oh! It completely disappears from you. Can't save any of it. Just use all of it. Gaps are still pretty even between everybody. No one in any sort of position to attack. It'll be very, very interesting to see how the strategies play into this. Because obviously the medium runners are going to undercut compared to the hard runners. The hard runners are going to run long. That undercut is going to gain them a fair chunk of time. Rockford and Huey battling away. Rockford in front, Huey behind now. As we head into turn 8. Seb in the fight as well, in the other team, Germany Mobile. There's Jinbin just behind, rounding out the top 10. Yeah, so it will be quite fascinating to see how the strategies pan out. Because in the middle of the race, those who are on mediums, who will pit onto hards, they're going to gain a fair chunk of time. But those on the hard tyre right now, they're going to gain huge amounts of time on fresh mediums at the end of the race. But of course they have to make their way through traffic, and as it's kind of demonstrating right now, that's very difficult to do. So I'll be very curious to see who's actually got it right in terms of strategy. Of course, first and foremost, you want track position. Track position matters so much around a racetrack like this, where it's so difficult to pass. I feel like these three might remain relatively unchallenged. It would be fascinating though to see how quick Potsy can go on those mediums at the end of the race. Because if he's lightning quick on those tyres, he should have a clear track to try and hunt down the three leaders. So, I mean, we've seen how quick Potsy has been as Seb overtakes Huey and moves through into P8. Stevenson gets Daniel. Oh, as Reese Cohen has left the session. Currently P11. Hopefully he can find a way to rejoin as soon as possible. Cohen's AI dropping down through the order as you'd expect, as the AI is rubbish. But now, as the laps have drawn on, starting to get individual groups rather than one long DRS train. So we might see a bit more battling now. Sector 2 yellows, who's that? It's Daniel Koo, he's out. There he is there. Oh, he retired on... He voluntarily retired. He spun out into the wall and he clicked retire from session. Oh my days. I thought he crashed out. No, he just voluntarily retired. You don't do that, by the way, folks. If you're new to this, you do. I think in almost any league you race in, you don't ever do that. Ever. But he has, so... Anyway. Bags Adele into pit lane. Matt Plevy in as well, so... This is an unscheduled stop. Philly's retired. He's crashed out. Genuinely, the safety car has been deployed. There he is there, turn 4. How on earth did you put it into that wall? He must have had help. I don't think you can do that on your own. He had to have had help to end up in the right-hand side wall like that. Or on throttle, he lost control of the car and it snapped to the left. He counter-steered to the right and the car gripped up and sent him into the wall. That could have happened as well. But our first genuine retirement Brings out the safety car, and this has saved Bags and Matt, as well as Sneaky. Saved them big time. Allowed them to catch right up. But funnily enough, we had a similarly timed safety car in the Elite Series, and it benefited everyone on the mediums. And look at them all. We've got top 3, SV, Huey, and Jinbin. They're all on mediums. They can pit on the hards now and go to the end. And I think everyone else kind of has to stop because, well, it's a free pit stop. And it takes a really long time to go through this pit lane. So, yeah. I imagine everyone's stopping here. Top 3, definitely. What about Potsy? He's in. Spicer, SV, Rockford, Seb. Yeah, everyone has to come in. You cannot say... Even the AI is smart enough to come in. That's the smartest thing I've ever seen the AI do. Ever. It came in. Big brain. For once. Now, this will get feisty because nobody knows who's got what garage. Nobody knows who's got what teammate. So, there's probably a fair few people who got double stacked in that. Top 3 remain as they are. Ooh, even Potsy, even Spicer. I think SVT, that's right. Rockford, Huey, Stone, Batemate. I think Jinbin might have lost a spot. But yeah, you couldn't stay out. There's no way you could stay out. You had to pit. Had to. Now what the medium runners can do, as Humphreys proved on Sunday, you can try and do 2 stints on the mediums. So it will cost you time and it'll probably put you out of the running for the race win. But these guys like SV, Huey and Jinbin, who are stuck in the middle of the field, you might be able to catch up to these guys. Maybe. If you're quick enough on your medium compound tyres. So it'll be fascinating to see now how this all pans out. I've got a pretty decent idea based off the experiences I've had. And honestly, we won't know until the checkered flag falls. And frankly, there might be another chance of a safety car that completely turns things upside down again. Just be waiting on Matt and Sneaky to catch back up. That's on hard tyres. Did he come in again? He did. I thought he did. So he started on the hard tyre, put it onto mediums for 1 lap. He's now back on the hards. He'll go to the end. See, that's where a bit of luck really does kick in for you. Choosing the harder tyre allocation preset. It means that he had 2 sets of hard tyres available and he's using them right now. So you'll be thanking his lucky stars that that happened. Sneaky just behind on those mediums. So we'll run through the order as it is now. We have Ryan Bell at the front of the field, Crichton in P2, followed by Big Al in P3. This has been the top 3 basically throughout the entirety of the beginning stint of this race. They're all on the hard compound tyre now. Potsy in P4 and Sebastian Spicer in P5. They're on the mediums. SV with a penalty in P6. He's on the hards. Rockford in 7th is on mediums. Huey in 8th is on hards. Seb and Baymay round out the top 10. They're both on mediums. Jinbin is on the hard compound tyre. And the following 4 cars, Reese Cohen, Blake Stevenson, G-Force Nick and Bags Liddell are on mediums. Matt Plevy has pitted onto his 2nd set of hards in 16th place. And Sneaky at the back is on the mediums. In terms of position changes after stops, Batemate up 4, Nick up 5, Sneaky down 5, but of course he was destined to be at the back after what happened on lap 1. In terms of penalties, you can see SV there with 3 seconds next to his name. Get rid of that tyre graphic for a minute. Same with the telemetry one, just to open up the viewing space for a bit. Do one more lap, it seems, behind the safety car. Or it might be a late call here. No, it's not. Thank goodness. So we'll do one more lap. And frankly, it's benefiting everyone. It's for the hard runners. There'd be less wear on the tyres over the course of this second stint. Medium runners will be the same as well, but I reckon they're going to have to push a two-stop. If you stay, you can stay out for that long on the mediums, as Elite Series proved, but you're going to have very little pace. Very little. So... Oh. Just taking in the visuals a little bit around the racetrack. It's about the only thing I can give credit to for Codemasters is the graphic design of the tracks in particular. The street tracks, most of all. It's quite fantastic how much detail they put into it. It's a pity they don't put the same level of detail into, you know, basic stuff like making sure that the lobbies are stable, making sure that you don't break stuff within the game every time you release an update, proof checking stuff. But no, I'll give Cody's credit. The visual design is pretty on point. Safety car will make its way back into pit lane with Ryan Bell in control of the field. We'll have to wait until the safety car goes back in, which it has done right about now. So we're waiting patiently here for Bell to take off. He might do it right out of this chicane. I'm a genius. Round the final two corners. Onto the main straightaway we begin. Lap 13 of 31 here at Singapore. Got a long way to go. Al under attack. Down the inside goes Potsy. And he moves through into P3, utilising the pace of those medium compound tyres to full effect. Round turn 4. Up towards turn 5. Getting close to the barrier there. Using the full width of the racetrack. Bell, Crichton, Potsy, then Al here. Oh, little move, little shimmy there from Rockford. Down the inside, wheel-to-wheel contact. SV's pushed wide. Eventually gives in. All tight staff between Huey and Baymate. The Verstappen mobile loses control. Holds up the Williams of Jimbin. He's coming just behind, followed by Stevenson, then GeForce Nick. Or side-by-side action. Seb making his way through. SV forced out wide. Loses a spot. Drops down to 8. So a bit of drama here in the mid-pack, as you'd expect. Side-by-side Cohen down the inside. Stevenson tried around the outside, ultimately didn't work. Sneaky gets a 3-second time penalty. Did all that catching up during the safety car period, and during the first lap of green flag running, gives himself a time penalty. Oh dear. And the final two corners here. Calms Potsy on Crichton. Moves through down the inside of turn 1. Again, utilising the pace of those medium compound tyres. Moves through into P2. He'll hunt down Bell now. Try and take the race lead. Buried in the slipstream. Heading towards turn 7. Man, Potsy nowhere near close enough to try and do anything yet. 8/10 behind. He's got a bit of work to do through this mid-sector. Chop down that gap. Try and challenge for the race lead. At around turn 9. Onto the straightaway towards the Singapore Sling. Through turn 11. Then turn 12. Over the Anderson Bridge. Chucking it in. Hard on the brakes. Get the car rotated. Then get on the accelerator as early as you dare. Heading onto this straightaway. Around turn 14. Potsy closes in on Ryan Bale by about 3/10 over that sector. Now within DRS range. Can he find a way by the race leader? Around the final 2 corners of 18 and 19. They'll begin lap 15 of 31 here at Marina Bay. Properly buried in that slipstream now. Hunting down Ryan Bell. 4th gear, 5th gear, up into 6th. Brings it down to 4th gear, back on the power. DRS open. He's using the battery as well. Bell's vulnerable. He knows it. Lets him go. Potsy takes the race lead. He overshoots turn 7 in the process. Bell looking around the outside. Can't stick it though. Doesn't have the grip. Potsy takes the lead. Up towards the Sling. 4th gear. Down to 3rd. Oh, he brushed the barrier there. You could hear that. That scrape. Shows you how close they get to these walls. As I said, you have to be fearless. You have to get as close as you can to those barriers. Two-tenths behind is G-Force Crichton closing the gap. Very close, but not close enough to send it at the chicane. Round the final 2 corners and back onto the main straightaway. 6/10 is the gap between the top 2. 2/10 is the gap between P2 and 3. Bit of a gap back to Big Al. I think they're still glued together, those 3. Properly in this fight for the race win. Spicer P5, Rockford 6th, followed by Seb SVT, SVYT, then Huey, then Batemate. Keep skipping the Y, don't know why. Around turn 7. Looking down at the drivers here. See the geography of the racetrack. Yellows are out. An incident here between Huey and Batemate. Bags arrives at the scene right on the back of them. So a whoopsie through turn 7, resulting in 2 cars spinning out, dropping places. They head through the Sling. None of them rustle it, so thankfully we don't have a safety car coming out for a second time. Should mention as well, because I know a few tier 1 drivers will remember this, can't diss Swaggy anymore from binning it from the lead here at Singapore, because a Formula 1 driver did damn near the same thing at the same spot of the racetrack. Can't remember what season that was. That was a few seasons ago when G4 Swaggy did that. But yeah, after seeing the real live Grand Prix, yeah, I have a lot more understanding of why that can happen. Damn near real life driver did it and threw it into the wall. Couldn't quite believe it. Bell staying in the fight. He's not letting go of Potsy. Sure, the Audi Sauber driver might be a bit frustrated with that. Sure, in an ideal world, he would like to pull away, build up a margin, utilise the pace of those medium tyres to the full. Trouble is, with Bell in DRS range, he gains so much time on the straightaways, it doesn't matter what Potsy does through the corners, he can't build a big enough gap to drop Bell. Just that simple. Towards turn 14, the gap sits at 4.5 tenths, and it will continue to fluctuate. The Potsy will not be able to drive away. Yellow's out, sneaky again. Turn 13. So just a little bit after the last time he spun. I was right in the middle of the Anderson Bridge. Around the final 2 corners and back onto the main straightaway. Running wide is Ryan Bell. Ran so wide he invented a new corner, but he didn't run wide enough to do a stroll. I think we got 2 decent memes out of that race. The real life 2023 Singapore Grand Prix. Bell will be quite thankful he didn't do a stroll. Sneaky's done a stroll though, and that's brought out a safety car. Oh my days. You can see his dot. You can see where it was. That was turn 19. That was the final corner. He might have genuinely done a stroll. So, oof. But this is another interestingly timed safety car. And this promotes a 2-stop. Because I reckon if you've got an extra set of mediums, they'll go to the end of the race from here. So do you pit onto those medium tyres? Or maybe let's say you're on a set of hards like Bell here. Do you stay out and you take the track position? Obviously, if a few of you stay out, that really does help. Because it creates a serious buffer between those who are on old tyres versus those who are on new. But of course, if you're the only one who stays out and you've got a horde of fresh tyre runners behind you, you're screwed. Nuts and bolts of it, you're screwed. So, are they going to pit? And I honestly think my answer will be yeah. I think everyone will pit. I think. That'll be my guess. Everyone, all 16 drivers will pit. I'm wrong. One of them stays out, and interestingly enough, it's Crichton. Spicer stays out as well. Rockford in. Seb in. SV's in. Someone else stays out. It's Jinbin. So obviously the medium runners of that second stint, they're all in. Nick gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. Oh, Spicer on the medium, staying out. Really? Oh, B. Alright, so we got 5 cars staying out. 4 of them on the hards, 1 on mediums. Sebastian Spicer. An interesting gamble. I honestly thought everyone would box, but no. Little group, 5 cars have it. Oh, this is going to get interesting. Because I reckon there's just enough people who have stayed out. It might give Crichton enough of an opportunity to try and hang on to the lead. Maybe. It depends. Potsy's an incredibly aggressive driver. He's very decisive and committed to his overtakes. I'm sure the drivers in the lobby probably have different ways of describing it, but from my perspective, he's very decisive, and he fully commits to it. If he thinks there's a chance for a pass here, he'll go for it. So he'll make his way through. How long will it take? How much of a defense can the 5 cars in front of him make? And lest we forget, we got Bell, Al, Rockford, Seb. They're all on fresh tyres. So this is going to be a very interesting clash of strategies right at the end of this Grand Prix. And, oh, I want to say those are on fresh tyres have got it right. But five cars you have to try and get through. Some of them aren't easy. I can put up a decent defence, so can Huey and Jinbin. Spicer, I don't know on those tyres. Honestly, I'm not sure. Crichton will hang on to anything he's got. If he has a sniff of a race win, he will try and hang on to it. He won't let go. So, yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't know now. Everyone's lined up though. So this will be the last lap behind the safety car, then we'll get back on the green. One thing that will save the top 5, if they can hold position for long enough, if there's another safety car period, can drain away a few extra laps. That way it reduces the amount of time for those behind to try and make their way through. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be really interesting. I don't know who's got it right. I do not know. Safety car in this lap. So Crichton will back off, let the safety car go back to pit lane. Nice and easy. Turn on the telemetry just for a bit. Turn off the tyres just for a sector or two. Keep our eyes on this restart. Bird making his way back to pit lane. Crichton sitting at a steady 100 kilometres an hour at the moment. Safety car's made it back to pit lane now. Crichton takes off. Quite a nice restart from the championship lead up as he heads around the final 2 corners and back onto the main straightaway. It's lap 21 of 31, and we got Carnage already back here, giving us terrible camera angles, almost 4 wide, through turn 1, into turn 2. Bell's loose as he goes through turn 3. He's got the position though, he's into 4th. Plevy can't hang on to 5th either. Potsy's got too much traction as we go around turn 5. Yellows are out. Around is someone. It's Matt Plevy. Was he helped? I'm sure he was. I think there might have been contact through turn 5. It sent him round. He's at the back of the pack now as we head up towards turn 7. The midfield has sorted itself out. Seb on the back of Rockford. Can't find a way through just yet. See those on the medium tyres. They've already made up a spot. 2 spots. As a matter of fact, Huey was involved in that incident, it seems. Or involved in something. He's down to 14th place. What a little moment that was. 4 wide. Down the inside. Jinbin sees him coming. Opens up the steering. That's how aggressive they have to be. They can't waste time. They have to get to Crichton and get battling. The longer they wait, the more difficult it will get. Liddell overtakes Cohen. That's for 12th as we head towards the chicane. Through 16, through 17. Now what can Spicer do? He's on 11 lap old mediums. They're not going to feel great. Bell to the inside here, heading towards turn 1. He will outbrake Sebastian, and he moves through into P2. Potsy can't find a way through at turn 3. It didn't take them long, did it? Bell up to 2nd. Potsy down the inside at turn 5. Oh, tight stuff. But Potsy makes it work. He is in to P3. Bell attacking Crichton. Oh, he's forcing him out wide. But with all the grip in the world, Bell can send it down the inside. Crichton tries to not give up. He'll have the inside line at turn 9. They give each other enough room, but with all the grip, Ryan Bell takes the lead. Jinbin tumbles down the order after an incident. He's into 14th place now. Now Potsy, he'll bomb it, surely. No, not quite. Not quite close enough. I thought he was. Obviously was not. Dumping the rest of his battery. Looks the inside, bombs it in. Side by side at the exit. And with better traction, Potsy moves into P2. Crichton will fight back though with the power of ERS. Little contact there. Gets in front before the braking zone and takes P2 back. Potsy won't be able to find a way through here at the final part of the racetrack. Oh, he makes contact with Crichton. A perfect 360. He keeps it out of the barrier, but he drops down to P10. Oh my days. Sent round the championship leader. He's fallen down to 10th place. I'm still, like I said, as I interrupt myself, Rockford put it into the wall there. Seb's closing in. Can he close in by enough? Not quite. Spicer's in trouble as well on those tyres. Oh, wiggle there from Rockford as he closes in on Spicer. Yeah, I thought everyone was going to pit, but some people stayed out. I thought maybe those 5 cars would be enough, but Bell and Potsy had so much grip on those tyres. Able to make mincemeat of that top 5. Out of the hairpin at turn 13. Up towards turn 14. Rockford. Surely he'll find a way through. Spicer defends. Will he go to the inside? No. Spicer will pull the car up. Keep 4th. Small wiggle again. Round turn 18, then 19, onto the main straight. Closing in, closing, not by enough to try and send it here. Seb just hovering behind in 5th place. Look at this train. 5 cars all in a row. 6 cars, as a matter of fact. Rockford with DRS. Pull to the inside. He'll get in front. Seb will follow suit. Round the outside here at turn 7. Contact between him and Spicer. Seb with the inside line. Spicer on the outside. Doesn't have the traction to try and keep the fight alive. Seb moves through into 5th. Spicer down to 6th. And now he has SV all over the back of him. Brief look down the inside at the sling, but obviously you don't try and pass here. Stay behind, follow the car in front, do the best you can. You can try and set up a move here into turn 13. DRS open, heading towards 14. SV closing in, looking to the inside, but again not committing to the move. He stays behind. Has an opportunity here though. Overtake on. Spicer will defend and defend hard, right up to the wall. SV looking around the outside, heading into 16. He outbrakes the Pinkmobile and moves through into 6th place. Well, Spicer will fall into the clutches of Batemate in the Verstappen car. Into turn 1. Through 2. Then 3. Stevenson just behind in the B-Tech Alpine. Quite a neat little scrap here, ultimately demonstrating the importance of tyre life. Spicer wide, but Baymay with all the traction, he'll get on through. There's nothing Seb can do. Huey, new fastest lap. 30.453. Back up towards our leading trio, which now consists of... Oh, yellows! It's Jinbin around that turn 9. He's fully spun it. There goes Matt. Gets pointed back in the right direction and we get going again. No safety car deployed from that one. But out in front, it's Bell who leads. Potsy second, Al in third. Very similar to what we've had all the way out, all the way throughout this race. Just we have Potsy now instead of Crichton. The two came together though. Turn 19 might be looked at post race. I'm not sure. We'll wait and see. Caused an almighty spin, but kept it out of the wall. Stevenson moves through into P8. Spicer falling like a rock in water. He's got no grip, no speed on those tyres. He's trying to get... He lets Bags through. He doesn't want to fight Bags. He's done with this point. At this point. He's just trying to survive on those tyres. Yeah, I'm still a bit bewildered why a lot of them... why those 5 drivers didn't stop. These drivers will know better than I do the sheer pace of fresh tyres, and they elected to go against it, and it's ultimately shafted them, and I mean shafted them. They're down in 10th, 12th, 13th and 14th, and 15th as well. That was the top 5 at the safety car restart. That's a massive strategic blunder. Seb close, but not close enough to try and pass Rockford here. So we head up towards the final 2 corners. Seb might be able to line up a pass. He's got battery, he's got DRS, he's got the slipstream. Not close enough, I'm afraid. Stays behind. And your lead up 2.4 seconds the margin between the top 2. Al in third. 8 tenths behind the Audi Sauber. Rockford, can he hang on to 4th? At the moment the answer is yes. Slight contact I think between him and Seb there. As we head around turn 8. Jinbin into pit lane. He'll pit onto softs. Try and snag himself fastest lap. Might as well try. Through the sling. Then the chicane. Turns 11, then 12. Over the bridge. Towards 13. On the brakes hard. Down to second gear. Back on the power in third. Jinbin a 3-second time penalty. He's actually moved on to a set of mediums, not onto a set of softs, interestingly enough. Seb closing in, but again, not by enough. Trying to tack through here. This is really the only battle we have on track. Unless Al can try and dig up 6.5 tenths, try and challenge Potsy for P2. Although Potsy has closed the gap a bit to Ryan Bell. 2.2 seconds to gap now, with 4 to go. Maybe there is a chance that Potsy can try and fight this out. Round turn 5. Surely Seb will get it done this time. DRS open. Round the outside at turn 6. Gets in front. Moves into 4th. Clean as you like, as simple as you like. Now Seb has a relatively clear track in front of him. He is going to try and pull away. Here's Potsy. There's your race leader making their way through the sling. The gap is 2 seconds. This has to be a mega final part of this race from Potsy to try and challenge for the race win. He needs to push. Using up his battery. Bella's done the same. Al's got a bit in reserve. Will he play himself into this? I reckon he will. Al in a very, very strong strategic position. Over the curbs. Up towards the final 2 corners and back on to the main straightaway. 3 to go here at Singapore. 2.1 the gap. Potsy really does need to dig deep, try and hunt down Bell. Bell demonstrated extraordinary pace in qualifying, doing that 27.3. Look at that gap, it's still about 2.2, 2.3 seconds, so likelihood is Potsy won't be able to win this unless Bell gives himself a 3-second time penalty. That'll be about it. Up towards the sling again. Huey, a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Over the bridge. Into the hairpin. 2.5 now. Bell starting to open up that margin. Sector 2, yeah, Seb's out! Seb has crashed! Oh dear! No way! At the hairpin! And there's no safety car for this. We're too deep into this race. Seb's night is done. From a top 5 certainty, he will not score a single point here in Singapore. What a shame. Out in front now. 2 laps to go. Gap 2.7. Bell eking out that margin. Dragging it out. Round turn 6 goes the race leader. Round turn 6 goes Potsy. I think now his main focus will be keeping Al at bay. Gap sits at 0.4 of a second. Can Al find a way through? Going to be tough. He's got battery though. That's the biggest thing. Although Potsy's gathered some up himself, he's able to recover a little bit, up to 22%. Around the hairpin, Jimbin gets a new fastest lap, sets a new fastest lap, 1 minute 30.2. Alright, Al will have one last crack to try and take second away from Potsy. Potsy will know that. If he sees Al coming, he'll put up one hell of a defence. Out in front though, Ryan Bell looks very comfortable. SV makes his way through into 4th place. It's now the final lap, lap 31 of 31 here at Singapore. 0.8 is the margin between the P2 and 3. So Potsy's been able to eke out that margin somewhat through the final sector of the previous lap. Likelihood is Al won't be able to find a way through. He's got a ton of battery. He'll use all of it. But I reckon he needed to be a little bit closer heading into this lap. It needs to be a Bahrain send here. Al pulls it up. Tries to set up a move heading towards A. Can't get it done. Just not close enough to get it done. Potsy saw him coming. Covered off that inside line. Exactly what he needed to do. And he hangs on to P2. Just smart driving right there. Very smart. And in front, 4 seconds in hand now. Bell can cruise home. Claim victory here in the Elite Series. A bit of luck played its part in that, but this has been a thoroughly well put together performance from Bell. Qualified on pole by a considerable margin. He hasn't put a single foot wrong over the course of these 31 laps. And he deservedly takes the checkered flag and wins the Singapore Grand Prix. Potsy will hang on to P2. Big Al will complete the podium places in 3rd. SV will finish in 4th. He will not stay there though with the penalty. Rockford will finish in 4th position, followed by Batemate Stevenson in P7. He'd be very happy with that, making up 6 spots in that race. Bags Liddell inside the top 10, he'll be happy. Spicer, wondering what could have been. Same with Crichton. They made a pit stop during the second safety car. Nick P11 followed by Huey. Matt Plevy will be next. He will overtake Huey thanks to the penalties. From the looks of things, he will. Moves up to 12th. Next will be Jin Bin. And then Reese Cohen, our final finisher. Both of them with 3 seconds worth of penalty. Huey's actually... Huey's been classified DNF, so... Interesting. See how that works itself out post-race. Yeah, I think you did pretty alright, Blake. P7's not a bad result at all, mate. Well done. Alright, game. Who gets driver of the day? Batemate. I do believe he made up the most places after out of anybody after qualifying, so fair play. And honestly, a fairly faultless performance from Ryan Bell. Put together a terrific drive, terrific qualifying session as well. He wins the Singapore Grand Prix. P2 going to Potsy. P3 to Big Al. The unofficial results then of the Singapore Grand Prix. Ryan Bell is your race winner. Potsy home in P2. Al will complete the podium places in 3rd. Rockford P4, followed by Batemate in 5th. He started from 14th, finished 5th, but I did read your message, Blake. It appears that a few people are angry with him, so we'll see what happens post-race. SVP 6, followed by Stevenson in 7th. Liddell 8th, Spicer 9th, Crichton in P10. A bit of a blow in the Drivers' Championship for him. GeForce Nick is next, P11, followed by Matt Plevy, Jinbin, Reese Cohen, then Huey, although Huey, 46 seconds behind, so he should be P13. But the game classifies a P15 because it's rubbish. Then we have Seb, Sneaky Philly, and Danoku. All of them retiring from the race. Seb's still classified, but in 16th, he ultimately doesn't score a thing. Well, had to change things up in order to make this race happen, but we got through it, and I'd say it was a reasonable success. I had to work a bit harder with the multiplayer cars, but we got through it. Yeah, fair, interesting. With that comment with Sneaky then. Like I said, there's probably going to be a fair few things post-race that I'm probably going to have to go through next week. I wouldn't be surprised. Who won Big Al? What car does Al drive? Does he drive a Red Bull? In this, I think he does. I'll double check. Me brain, not so smart. Pacific Tier 1. Have a look. I'm pretty certain he drives a Red Bull. That's not the right one, dum-dum. That one. See, brain no work too good. Yeah, he does. I thought he does. So yeah, big old boost for Big Al then. That will be his second win of the season. After winning at Zandvoort, he wins here at Singapore. So what an effort from him. P2 to Potsy. That might be provisional after what we saw between him and Crichton. Ooh, bit of drama in the Discord, eh? I'm not surprised. There were a few incidents over the course of that. And Big Al as well. Another podium finish for the big man. There'll be 3 podiums in a row. Sprint at Spa, Grand Prix win at Spa, and now a 3rd here at Singapore. So well done to our top 3. But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to wrap up the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 6 of the championship at Suzuka Circuit for the Japanese Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.